I'll also be recording this so I can send it to people after that missed it.
Really slow. Sorry about this. Craig, can you see my screen? Is it sharing?
It's frozen up right now. Oh, there it goes.
Okay. So you can see the British Columbia Winter Outlook 2021-22?
Yep.
Excellent. So this year we're looking at a second winter of La Nina. So similar to last year with the La Nina oscillation airflow out in the Pacific. Basically, the overview that we're looking at this year is it's a 70 to 80% chance of the La Nina oscillation, similar to last year. We can anticipate the, sorry, one second, my phone's going off there. Anticipate an active first half of winter for the north portions of the province. More importantly, on the lower mainland and Vancouver Island, we'll see mild but active conditions through October and December, which I think we've all taken note. Lots of wind and rain. Precipitation should be remaining rain outside of any sort of usually cold systems. The second half of winter, Arctic air is expected to push further south into the province, with systems more frequently tracking across the island and lower mainland region. Snow events for lower mainland and Vancouver Island will be most likely from late January through to early March. And there will be at least likely one or two winter storms bringing snow down to sea level. The north half of the province is going to stay cold and fairly dry during the second half of the winter, with only weak Arctic systems blowing through. However, there could be some bigger snowstorms at times for south interior areas, especially in the southeast over the Rockies and Kootenays. So what we're sort of anticipating is in like a lamb and out like a lion, as the saying goes. We do anticipate a couple of bigger snowstorms in the latter half of winter and are well prepared for it. So I'll take that and just move on to the presentation as sort of overview of our winter operation on the South Island. So in the agenda today, I've kind of gone over a brief introduction with our seasonal overview and introducing a few of our key management personnel. Then we're going to have a quick look at the Service Area 1 boundary map. So service area 1 is the southern Vancouver Island contract area. Winter maintenance specifications. So these are specifications from the Ministry of Transportation. Typical plow truck configuration that MCON has across the country. Crew and our winter shifts for the season, liquid, anti, and de-icing, winter chemical storage, winter abrasive, our Lynxfield GPS AVL system, high conspicuity panels, motor vehicle incidents, Malahat chain-up protocol, COVID-19 protocols, and then a conclusion to our presentation. So here's a quick map of our area. Our yard locations are marked with stars. So we have yards across all of the Southern Gulf Islands, including Thetis Island and Salt Spring Island. As well, on Vancouver Island, we have a yard in Duncan, a yard in Mill Bay, a yard located on the Malahat, as well as a yard in Souk. The winter ABCs for highway classifications. So this is sort of rolling into our winter specifications. Winter ABCs are defined in our contract with the Ministry of Transportation. So when I refer to Class A highway, it would be a high volume traffic over 5,000 winter average daily traffic count. Commuter routes, expressways, freeways that move through mountain passes. For the purpose of the classification, a freeway is a multi-lane highway with fully controlled access. Class A heavy commuter traffic routes extend to include the bulk of vehicles, include commuting daily to a center and cutoff where traffic drops below 2,500 winter average daily traffic count. These include, but are not limited to, high volume ski and commuter routes. So speaking to the South Island contract area, that's going to be routes, all of our numbered routes, Highway 18, Highway 1, Highway 14, Highway 17, Highway 17A, and Highway 1A. As well as on the Gulf Islands, we have a couple of Class A routes on Salt Spring, which is basically the routes to the ferries. Then we move into Class B highways. These are trunk and main routes. These would be sort of the secondaries. Class C routes is going to be school bus routes and industrial truck traffic routes, not included in Class A and B. Class D is going to be other regularly maintained winter routes, side roads, and sort of subdivision roads. Class E, other irregularly maintained winter routes, and Class F, which are roads that are not open in the winter or maintained by the contractor. So we base our whole deployment plan from the winter ABCs. Obviously, it's imperative for us to have the Class A's open and plowed and ready for traffic before we get to the Class B's and C's, so that once somebody accesses the highway, it's all good and ready for morning commutes and afternoon commutes. Patrol specifications. So these are specifications taken right out of our contract with the Ministry of Transportation. As you can see, we have a response time built into highway classification, and these are actually numbers instead of the ABCs. So with every highway classification as an alpha, there's also a summer that's a numerical. So at all times, we have a response time on Class 1 and 2, which is going to typically be our Class A highways of 24 hours patrol frequencies. Class 3 is typically going to be a B or a C. which is a 2-day response time, and then 4s and 5s, Cs and Ds, and 6s and 7s are Ds and Es. You'll notice that as weather is forecasted, we have a shorter response frequency, and during a weather event, we also have an even shorter response frequency to make sure that our trucks are out there and patrolling. These are our snow removal specifications. So we have a specification to remove accumulations from the traveled lane on a Class A highway. So now we're back into the winter specification, winter classifications. Class A highways, we have 4 centimeters as a maximum allowable winter accumulation. So 4 centimeters of snow for 1 lane in each direction on a Class A highway, 6 centimeters on a Class B highway, and such. Second lanes on the highways, 8 centimeter maximum allowable accumulation, 10 centimeters on Bs, and then typically there isn't a second lane on a Class C, D, or E highway. So as I roll down the specification, the next one is the remove slush or broken compact, which we have a time frame allotment for Class A, B, and C highways. And the last specification in snow removal is a new one that was added in 2019 from previous contract years, is the bare lanes when pavement temperature is -9 or warmer. We have Class A highways at 24 hours, Class B at 36, and Class C highways at 48 hours, where the pavement must be bare. That means no compact ice. We have our next specification, which is our anti-icing and de-icing specifications. The mandate from the Ministry of Transportation and our overall winter operation is to be proactive. That's monitoring weather and also using anti-icing applications with salt brine ahead of forecasted snowstorms. So as you can see in our specification, we deploy the resources in advance of a forecasted or anticipated weather event to pre-treat compact travel lanes with winter abrasives as appropriate for the location to minimize development of slippery conditions. Deploy resources in advance of a forecasted or anticipated weather event to pre-treat Class A and B travel lanes with anti-icing materials as appropriate for the location. So we will be having our brine trucks out and about well in advance of the snowstorm, pre-treating those roads to try and mitigate any kind of compact forming on cold pavement when we get snow. The next slide is just a quick look at some of our typical plow trucks. This one is a tri-axle wing truck. So as you can see, majority of our fleet are Western Stars. We have on the front of the truck our quick change for our plow, our front plow. Here's the side view. On the side, you can see at the lower back corner of the box, we have pre-wet tanks for liquid application to our spreaders for salt and sand. That helps add some salt brine to our product as we're putting it out, making it stick to the road better, or in the case of salt crystals, activating it quicker so that it effectively helps melt the snow quicker. About midway on the plow truck, you can see a plow underneath the truck. That's called an underbody plow. That helps scrape up any compact and slush and makes it for a nice clean surface once our trucks go through. On the back, you can see this is a new feature in this round of contracts, was a high conspicuity panel. It helps the traveling public see our plow trucks from the rear. You'll notice there's a series of LED lights in addition to the bright yellow and black panel that all light up in all sorts of configurations. And here's a shot from the side of the truck. You can see our big wing plow on the side of the truck that helps clear an extra half of a lane. So once they have that extended out, our truck can effectively clear 1.5 lanes in combination with the front and wing plow. Here's a quick look inside the cab. All of our newer tandem axle, tri-axle trucks are outfitted with a Rexroth 550 system. So you'll see that joystick in sort of the middle of the cab. That actually controls all of the spreader and plow functions. So all 3 plows, the spreader chain, as well as the table that helps apply the salt and sand evenly across the travel lane. Here's a quick look at our winter shift. We have coverage 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In the center of this little graphic, you can see sort of the general timeframes in which we bolster up our staff. So we've created a shift pattern, 3 shifts a day, and then we stagger those shifts in that framework to half an hour on either side, bringing on staff so that as we take breaks and people go in to reload their trucks with salt and sand, we always have the roads covered with somebody. And the framework is sort of modeled to have our roads all looking in good shape ahead of the peak traffic hours. Winter shift on the South Island is going to start right around November 15th, bearing that we don't get some kind of crazy snow forecast in the next couple of days. And then, yeah, 7 days a week with additional resources available when we get a forecasted event. Anti-icing and de-icing. So in the front of that picture in the bottom, you can see one of our brine trucks out that we have in the contract area. Products that we typically use for anti-icing and de-icing is salt and salt brine. We do have the ability to use calcium brine if we see temperatures that warrant a calcium application. Solid road salts spread using the pre-wet systems mounted on the trucks, activating the salt instantly, as I was showing in the saddle tanks on that plow truck before. Liquid salt and calcium brine applied proactively as per the ministry specification to prevent ice formation, bonding of snowfall to the pavement surfaces. We have enhanced use of liquids to both provide the better level of service and reduce environmental impact. As we use salt brine as much as possible, it reduces the amount of salt that we're introducing to the road surface and provides the same, if not better, level of service. This is a couple of pictures here from our salt facility in Mill Bay. So all of our facilities on the South Island and Southern Gulf Islands are constructed to an environmental construction standard. When we produce salt brine at our facilities, we use digital refractometers to ensure that our product is meeting a consistent 23.3 salt saturation, which is the optimal concentration for salt brine. Calcium chloride is used in weather applications, as I explained. I've got a quick little breakdown of salt brine being effective 0 degrees to -6 degrees, calcium and salt brine mixed about -6 to -12, and then just straight calcium brine at -12 to -20 degrees. So we have all of the tools we need to make sure that we have the roads and highways covered. Winter abrasive. So when I say winter abrasive, I mean our winter sand. Typically, we use the abrasive on steep hills and corners, intersections. It immediately improves traction in a snowstorm. All of our units are equipped with speed sensors to ensure that the application rates are consistent. And just at the bottom of this slide, you can see that I've pulled the specification for our winter abrasive. Down in the South Island here, we're using all type A winter abrasive, which is a maximum particle size of 9.5 millimeters. It's specified in our contract. This helps. This was a change in this year's round of contracts, as type B used to be the old standard. So with the type A abrasive, they found in studies that there's a significant decrease in windshields being chipped and things of that nature. Lynxfield, our automatic vehicle location system. So all of our plow trucks are outfitted with a GPS system that gives us real-time information and the ability to replay historical information. With that, they're outfitted with dash cams that capture images every 10 seconds while they're out on patrol or in a snowstorm. Our system is integrated with all the weather satellites, highway cams, and online resources that we can get to it. You can see the image of our portal screen, a web portal, where we've got in the Duncan Lake Cowichan area all sorts of lines and scribbles and things. So the red lines actually indicate our where our plow truck is plowed, and green lines would be where sand or salt has been applied. So our foremen have the ability to review this any time of day and make operational decisions and be able to deploy our resources that much better. This is a new technology to us in the last couple of years, so pretty excited about it. The high visibility conspicuity panels. So as I showed you before, these are mounted on the backs of all of our trucks. If you haven't seen them in the last couple of years that we've been in the contract area, that's a quick little video of what they look like from behind. Pretty hard to miss out on the highway. And then motor vehicle incidents. So this is just a quick review of our specification and our maintenance contract with Ministry of Transportation for our highway incident response. Basically, our role as the highway maintenance contractor is to facilitate the flow of traffic safely for highway users. We're there to assist the RCMP or the fire department, whoever the emergency agency is that is responding, by providing traffic control. The other sort of main component of why we're there is communication. We actually provide all of the updates that go into Drive BC for highway closures. So it's imperative for us to be in the know of what's going on our highways. We have a 24-hour dispatch line that assists us with that, and a group of dedicated foremen and road superintendents that are out there 24/7. So the Malahat chain-up protocol was For those who maybe in the snowstorms last year in February might have noticed, we worked together with CVSE and the Ministry of Transportation to set up chain up areas and pullouts for the commercial vehicles. It was extremely effective in making sure that everybody was equipped to travel in some adverse conditions that we had seen in the later half of the winter season last year. So you'll probably see us out again if we have one of those sea level snowstorms that affects the whole contract area, and especially the Malahat. Our COVID-19 protocols. So because we're an essential service, we take it extremely seriously. All of our staff have a policy and procedure that we've put in place that they need to follow. We update it frequently to stay in line with the Health Authority of BC and Island Health. We provide in-cab and office sanitization measures, PPE and contact elimination solutions, practicing social distancing just to ensure that our staff is healthy and ready to service the highways at any time of the winter. And that kind of concludes my presentation. I have a couple of our general inquiry numbers. So this is our direct office line, the 778-698-3582, and our 24-hour emergency line, 1-866-353-3136. That's our 24/7 dispatch number. As well, we've got our social media accounts, Twitter at MCon South VI, and our Facebook account at MCon Services Inc. Awesome. So I guess at this point, we could probably open it up to questions and comments from anybody if they want to use their raise the hand on their chat, and Craig can open it up.
If you also have questions, you can let me know in chat too. Oh, Murray, you got one? Go ahead, Murray. I think you just have to unmute your mic. I've allowed you to talk now. I've unmuted all the mics, so you might just have to unmute it yourself, Murray. Would you like to go ahead there, Norm?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
You betcha.
Okay. Yeah, just in regards to Central Saanich, as you know, we have the Pape Highway and also Verdier and sections of West Saanich. So I think just some of our experience in the past, I think it's been fairly reasonable. Is just when and if the highway shuts down, if we can communicate a little more upfront, and then at least give our folks a chance to make sure we can actually bring everybody safely through the community through some of the secondary roads through Central Saanich, i.e. whether or not to bring them down through Central Saanich off Amity or off of Mount Newton itself, but we can talk about that offline. And then the only other piece, again, which is pretty routine, is of course Verdier, which is part of the Pat Bay Mill Bay Ferry, was wondering if the hat's closing or having some issues. Again, just more of a heads up. And then I think from time to time we definitely get bottlenecked down there. I know you guys maintain that section as well through there, but that was probably the only thing I had in regards to just comments and feedback. But I think all in all, it's worked out fairly well in the past.
Awesome, Norm. Yeah, no, I think those are all valid comments. It's definitely a challenge when the Pat Bay becomes closed and people try to find their way around and navigate. So great. I think we should talk about it probably more heading into the winter season before we get into a closure situation in the winter.
Yeah, thanks.
Murray, did you get your mic going?
Yeah, sorry, I did. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. I was just curious if you guys are going to have this little meeting online here that I thought I might just run it past my guys and, you know, just bring them up to speed.
Yeah, I got it recorded now. I can, I'll send it out to the list that I invited everyone.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Any other questions?
Yeah, in addition to the recording, we'll provide the list of people that received the invite to this meeting with our updated contact information for the winter season. That'll include all of our road superintendents, myself, Craig, Stu, as well as our 24-hour hotline and office lines, emails, just so that everybody is able to contact us. Also, if you're not comfortable asking questions or making comments, we're going to have a question feedback form that you can fill out and reply back and send to us. So that'll all be sent out probably by next week.
Thanks everyone for coming. If there's no other questions, I think we'll wrap it up. Have a good day.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for everybody.